People have to have a wonderful experience from the beginning. There can't be any glitches.
What's clear to me is this started with a passion. So for anyone wanting to break into a new market or into a new field, there needs to be this passion for it.
Make sure you have a passion, or if not a passion, just deep knowledge about what you can do.
This is the Giraffes Don't Eat Steak podcast.
Podcast for curious marketers who zig when others zag.
In this episode, we dive into the world of premium experiential marketing. Discover the secrets of creating unforgettable experiences, managing complex stakeholder relationships, and how passion combined with deep knowledge can transform a niche market into a thriving business.
Hello, Alex.
Hello, Erica. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I am also very good.
Look who I brought to the podcast stage today. Michaela. Hey.
Hey, Mikaela.
Hey, Erica. Hey, Alex. How you guys?
Oh,
Very
so
well,
good
thank
to
you.
see you. So for our listeners, we worked with Michaela. Oh, it feels like we've been working together for the last 15 years, as it has been, right? So we've been working with Michaela and Javelin on and off for the last 15 years, and it's such a privilege to have you on our show. Michaela, tell our audience about you.
Okay. Thanks. So I am I'm the managing director of Javelin Media, or Javelin Advertising and Media, actually. We're a marketing business based in Johannesburg and Cape Town in South Africa, and we do a lot of marketing activities for clients, TV productions, radio, booking of media, booking of in the TV and radio space. We do events, exhibitions, all kinds of things like that. And then our main focus as a growth area for the business is in the Champagne Festival or Champagne Arena. So we do champagne festivals, which are sponsored by one of the big banks here, ABSA. And we also run a champagne shop. So that's what I'd like to tell you about today.
Mm,
Fabulous.
Who doesn't want to talk about champagne? That's what I want to know.
Well, I've been privileged to attend, I think, probably 4 or 5 of your wonderful champagne festivals over the last few years. Tell us, Michaela, how is that growing? How is that going for you guys?
So yes, thank you. We've this year we are doing 4 champagne festivals.
Wow.
So it's really big. It's really grown. And if you'd like to buy tickets from us, because there is a public evening, then Erica can give the details of that later on. If you don't mind, Erica, exciting stuff on the Champagne Festival side. And then the other innovation that we launched earlier in the year is our champagne shop. So we have listed all the champagnes available in South Africa. There's almost 60 different brands, of which there's quite a few varietals. So some have 2 or 3 varietals, others have more. It's a combination of the Grand Marques, the well-known names like the Moet and Verve and Taittinger and Bollinger and Lanson and all of those that people know. And then grower champagnes who are literally, it could be you and your husband or wife with a little vineyard, and you're making a few bottles of champagne and bottling it and selling it to your neighbors and friends in the village, etc. And that's how it grows. So we've got everybody listed, and you can buy champagne. It's called champagneshop.co.za, so easy to remember. And it's easy to buy. You just go on there, you look for your favorite one. We have some specials. You click on a bottle or 2 or 6 or 12 or whatever your fancy is. You put in your card details and pay, and we deliver to you. So anywhere in South Africa, and it's as easy as that. And looking towards growth into the African countries as well.
Quickly becoming the champagne go-to champagne people in Africa.
Yes.
South Africa.
Queens, we're calling ourselves.
So ABSA is They have operations throughout Africa, do they? So they're sponsored.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do. Mm.
Yeah, they do.
9 territories
Mm.
that they are involved with. Good.
Alex, have you been to one of these? I can't remember if you've been with me to one of them.
I'm gonna try and say no without saying bitter.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No, I couldn't do it.
I don't know
couldn't do
why,
it.
but for some
Bitter
reason,
stuff.
yeah, we haven't been able to fit it in. But the whole reason this is so successful is because it's experiential, right? And this is, I think, the secret to what's effective about good events. And the reason for your success, Mikaela, is that you and your team think through every single touch point, from the way tickets are bought to when people arrive to every detail along the venue. Would you say that's part of your success?
Well, thanks, Erika. That's a lovely compliment. And yes, I think it's we try to have the most attention to detail, because we've learned over the years that the details, the devil is really in the detail. If you forget about one tiny thing, the whole thing can come crashing down. So, people have to have a wonderful experience from the beginning. There can't be any glitches. They can't see, the duck that's paddling furiously under the water.
Yeah.
They only need to see the duck. The feet. You shouldn't have to see the feet. And yeah, that's what we pride ourselves in, is trying to make sure that we handle everything with attention to detail, and make sure that people have a wonderful time, so that they come back again and again and again. That's what makes it a success.
So for Alex, and for anyone who hasn't been, the whole experience is about tasting different types of champagne, which you may not, we often grow up with a favorite, one that's always in the house, and then you stuck to that brand because in your head that's the one. And you don't necessarily realize the range of different champagnes there are. And this is such a wonderful experience. It is quite upmarket and elite, so you also get to dress up, which is lovely. But there's different, the ones I've been to, I don't know if this has changed, but there's different stations where each champagne grower, is that what they're called, Mikaela? Will then allow you to,
houses.
Champagne houses, allow you to sample their wares, right?
Right.
So how many different champagne houses do you normally have at an event?
So in Joburg, typically somewhere around 40 odd now, because there are so many now in the country, which is fabulous. And because there's about 400-500 people every night, it's quite a lot of people. So they get to, we need to have a lot of houses so that people can go around and taste. And normally the tasting takes about 3.5 hours in the first part of the event. And then after that, people stay on really until they get kicked out at whatever time the venue closes. And then they just continue to eat and drink, and because there's open bars, there's other alcohol, other soft drinks, there's entertainment, great food. There's beautiful cars. So we've partnered also with other luxury brands like cars, like fashion. All we had diamonds the one year, Erika, I think you were there when you saw the diamond guys were there. So those kind of high-end, high-value partnerships. So it's a lifestyle event. People look forward to it for most of the year, because as you say, it's an opportunity to dress up. You meet your friends there. You taste all these wonderful champagnes, and you discover new favorites, and obviously old ones that you love. But the idea is to explore and taste and become educated and learn about the new smaller guys, which don't always get their place in the sun. So we create the same environment for everybody, whether you're the big mighty Moet and Chandon or the tiniest of growers with a little vineyard. So everybody has the same chance to be showcased to these affluent guys who have the money but don't necessarily know about champagne. That's our job, to teach them and help them part with their money.
I love that philosophy of trying to even the playing field in terms of the presentation of each one of the houses. I went, it's some like expos I've been to, and obviously some of the big players who have huge money, they've just got massive stands. Like if you go to for example, they have like a Samsung stand or something, and they've got one that's like huge in an arena. And then they have other people who've got like tiny little stores, and you never get to see those people because it's just absolutely tiny. But I've been to some others as well where it doesn't matter if you're a Samsung or you're a one-man band, you get the same size stall. So you kind of you're evening the playing field for everyone, and then it just becomes about your product and your offer, which I really like, rather than because you paid to be there. You have 500 guests per night, so you have 500 unique guests per night. Is that over 4 nights, or do some people come back?
Some people come back, if I remember. They enjoy it.
Mostly staff, mostly ABSA staff would be there again, but the clients are unique. Yeah, so so what ABSA do is they have a different night for different client divisions. So like one night it'll be their high net worth clients in their personal capacity. Another evening will be the corporate and investment banking clients from the corporates, and then also business clients. So it will be all clients in personal or business capacity. And then the so-called public evening, where people can buy tickets, is really where it's champagne loving people that have bought tickets, all the years, as well as some media, some trade. The VIP clients of the champagne houses come to that evening. So that's quite an evening of different categories of people. Influencers will also be there, champagne influencers, lifestyle, food and wine influencers, those kind of people. And that's basically the same format that we follow throughout. So, if you were to come and join us, you would come to the public night, as we call it, and that's the real party. So you'll be coming to the real party.
So I guess it's a really, really good opportunity for the houses to collect contact information, data, and build their own databases so that they can then be in contact with those people that they met at the festivals, at the events, so they can, sell champagne to them later on in the year or coming years. Do they have different ways of collecting those data, or do you see any houses that do anything that's particularly unique in the way that they collect it, or people that it's more of a traditional kind of nice to speak to you, here's our card, etc., etc.?
Oh, it's not like that at all.
No. So what we do at the festival is we drive sales through. We've got a partnership now with Norman Goodfellows, and they assist us in creating like a shop at the festival, so people can then come and buy. It's a integrated shop, so all the brands are there. So it all gets bought in one central place, and then we deliver it after the fact. So we do a real push to buy at the festival with special pricing and special deals for people. But in terms of the houses collecting data, some of them have done very interesting things, like they've done given away gifts on at their stands. So, for example, if you order a bottle of champagne, you can get 2 glasses for free, or some other sales mechanism that they do to obviously collect that data, and then add these people to their databases. Obviously, through our shop, we also funnel information for them, because people coming onto the shop to buy champagne then also become part of our collective database, so that we all benefit from everybody buying champagne, because we as such are a platform for the category of champagne. So all champagne is what we promote from a marketing perspective. I'm trying to find the right words. We don't promote one particular champagne. We promote the category of champagne.
Yeah, makes sense.
For everybody.
But the flow, Alex, if you think about the flow, it's quite busy. If you think of these 500 people, and at a stand, they're getting shots of champagne. Shots is probably not the right word, to taste.
Samples.
Tastings.
And often the person behind there is then explaining something about the history of the champagne, or this particular vintage, or how it was grown, or something like that. So that's not really a business cardy, exchangey kind of a place. And also you're usually in sort of black tie and smartly dressed or whatever. You're not really carrying your business cards anywhere on you. So it's not really that.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes, it's
So
more
kind of like,
networking.
Yeah.
but you've digitalized the sales of the selling of the champagne and the data collection. I guess that's kind of answer to my question. That's really cool. That sounds awesome.
And interesting is that you could also share with us, Michaela, is because often with events like this, the problem is the start. So getting everyone who's registered through the door, and you guys have come up with quite a good system that it flows, right?
Yes, so we have a digital registration system. So the guest lists are fed into that system before the time, so that when you arrive, your name, they quickly find your name. You don't receive a name tag. You get like a little wristband almost that you can put around like a silk wristband, so that you can come in and out. And it's all digital, so you don't wait a long time in a queue. Hopefully, it's only when they can't find your name for whatever reason that you might wait a bit, but otherwise we try to get people going as quickly as possible, because obviously, to make people wait outside when they're anxious to get inside and enjoy themselves. So we try to move that quite quickly, manage that as efficiently as possible, so that people go inside and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's quite an important aspect of events, is to think about the caliber of the event, right? So this is, if it was I'm trying to think, what's this big music festival that happens here, Glastonbury, that's like a whole different experience, and versus this champagne festival where people are generally black tie, dollied up, versus jeans and shorts, etc. So I think it's thinking through that of what will lead to that experience. I think you wouldn't need to go to the additional expense at Glastonbury, for example, of having this, having silk armbands and all that kind of stuff, because people aren't expecting that, right? They're quite happy to stand in queues to get to a dirty tent, from what I've seen. And
they have some very fancy parts within Glastonbury and other festivals, actually.
Really?
You pay a lot of money to go for. That you can go in like very fancy teepees and things like that.
Okay, so I guess that's a different queue, though, to the general public
it's definitely a different queue. It's a different queue.
Would be the elite queue, right, versus the economy class queue.
Well said.
Interesting you say that, Erica, because people ask about VIP at the Champagne Festival, and our stock answer from everybody, apps included, is it's all VIP. So there isn't a VIP area. All VIP. So once you're in, you are a VIP, and once you're on the list, you're a VIP. Your biggest challenge is to make sure you get in, and we because our numbers are limited to the 400 or 500. Once the those lists are closed, it's over till the next year. So that's the important thing, is to get on the list and make sure you're there, because then you're in the VIP. You're automatically in first class.
Absolutely, and I can testify that's absolutely how you feel. The moment you step in, you are a VIP.
So what's the biggest challenge of running an event?
Whew, how long do we have? I think there's a lot of moving parts, if I can be diplomatic. There's a lot of people involved. So from the sponsorship side, there's obviously a lot of people from ABSA side, management, staff, that all need to have a say and all need to be involved in this process. There's obviously all the champagne houses who also want to, to be involved in the process. So I would say the biggest challenges are managing the people. It's like a bit like herding cats. We're trying to get everybody to go in the same direction, and it doesn't always work like that. It's more, you got to keep everybody on board, and make sure everybody's informed and happy with what's happening. Otherwise, things just become delayed. I think, you've got to be quite a politician, I think.
So I guess if you have to give some piece of advice to aspiring event organizers, one of them would be to ensure that they're working on or being at least conscious of their people skills and people management skills, almost more than, I don't know, other event skills.
Yes, absolutely. And also to not panic. I think that's the most important thing. Even, be a politician and don't panic. So to stay calm, try and find solutions to things that look like problems. We also try not to use the word problem, rather challenge. And our job is to find solutions. So if something goes wrong, it's not, it's generally not a crisis. So you just take a deep breath and you try and work out what to do. And also, you're not alone. There's a lot of people that you can talk to. So I think that's another bit of advice is not always try to fix things on your own, but go and talk to your clients, to your, people that you work with, your colleagues, your business partners, anybody that's involved, because, a few heads are better than one, and you can always come up with a plan if you make the effort to chat to people and just, be in solution mode. I think that's the main thing, and not panic.
I like that mindset. I love the mindset of, let's be honest, whatever you do, there's always going to be something that happens that you did not expect, or something that you kind of didn't want to happen. And if we know that from the beginning and just accept that as part of the journey, then I guess you can kind of protect yourself from getting stressed around something that happens, rather than, because you just know that that's going to happen, and then you just know you just need to find the solution. There's no problem. Just move on.
Yeah. I often say we're not saving lives here. We're not a hospital. We're just trying to put together an event. It'll be all right. We can manage it.
So if you think back to the very first one, because obviously it's grown such a lot since it started, when perhaps champagne wasn't that common, perhaps there weren't that many people who knew about it, were interested in it. What do you think your biggest learnings have been about? Because really you've created the category, haven't you, over the years? You've created awareness of this category of champagne. What would you say would be the biggest things you've learned over the years?
So I think because it started quite small. I mean, it started before my time, even at the Bryanston Country Club, in one room. Sean, my business partner, often says it was one room with like 15 champagne houses and a bit of cheese and bread. And that's how we started. But it wasn't quite like that. But I think, you get the picture. And it's grown. I think it's grown primarily because of his love and passion for champagne and the category and growing it. And in fact, he's the ambassador of L'Ordre de Coteau de Champagne, which is a brotherhood or sisterhood of champagne lovers throughout the world. And he's the African ambassador. So it's his job actually to promote champagne. And he does it, without needing a title. And it was really to try and grow it in France. So he spent a lot of time visiting houses in France and visiting the French CIVC, which is basically the governing body of champagne, and really saying to them, listen, here we are in South Africa. We've got this festival. Come and see it. See what we're doing. It's the only one of its kind in Africa, in South Africa. And so you put in a lot of time trying to get them out here. And once they started coming, they love it, and they can't believe it that it's not happening all over the world. And through that, more and more importers have joined the festival. And through the years, more and more people have started importing champagne. Because of the efforts, I think, of the big houses. Certainly, often, people say, yeah, they have a lot to say about the big houses, but if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be a champagne market. They really put a lot of money and time and effort, and they do things beautifully in Champagne to promote the name of Champagne throughout the world. So I think it's really been a combination of all of those factors. And up until recently, it's become quite easy to import champagne into this country. I don't know what's going to happen with the things that are happening across the pond from us. Let me not mention any names here on this podcast, but I think that's going to be quite an interesting ride with the tariffs and so on. But up to now, it has been quite. It hasn't been an onerous thing to import, which has also helped the category. And obviously, people loving it have, spoken to their friends and family and said, "Why don't you, if you've got a house or two, why don't you bring in another 2 or 3? Because everybody else, everybody loves it, and it's grown that way. I think organically is probably the right word."
Yeah, and I guess it's when you mentioned Sean, I mean he has such an infectious way of talking about his enthusiasm for champagne that it's hard not to be pulled in by the event and his enthusiasm for the wine. Like, so as you said, I mean, it started in a small room, and I'm not surprised it's got to where it is, even without his title. He would do it for free, I guess.
Yes. In fact, it should be him that you should be talking to. I feel like I'm not doing it justice, but I'm trying.
No. We know Sean would always tell us, Michaela knows everything. I'm just a talker.
Everyone has a different perspective of the way a business is run. I mean, you give a lot of insight, a different insight to the business than Sean would. It's the same if you speak to me about our business versus Erica. You'll get a slightly different flavor of what is actually happening.
Absolutely. Sure. But what's clear to me is this started with a passion. So for anyone is looking to break into a new market or into a new field, there needs to be this passion for it. And like with Sean and yourself, is in-depth knowledge about it. It's no good you go in and you only have a high level knowledge. If you didn't know about what champagne is or who all the houses were, or it wouldn't be as powerful. People would lose trust in you, right? To say, oh, well, you don't know anything. So I think you get deep, you have a lovely niche, you know who your target audience is, you know all the stakeholders around that. You've mentioned a lot now just on this podcast. So you know in depth all your stakeholders, you know your audience, and then you've created an event that is going to meet the needs of all the stakeholders as well as the audience. And I think that for me is the secret of your success, is the passion, the in-depth knowledge about your category, and then really understanding the landscape and the audience that you look after.
I think that's exactly right.
We're always trying to meet new importers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex. We're always trying to meet new importers. For instance, there are a few that have come into the country this year. I would say, I don't know, 3 or 4 maybe, that we've met recently. And it's so exciting to meet new importers, new brands, even sometimes old brands that were here before and then had a gap because nobody could import them. So that's always exciting. And I must say, I love doing that. I love getting to know them because they are what makes all the festivals and our shop and the whole champagne category wonderful. Is all these people and where they come from and why they're into champagne. I mean, we've got some champagne importers that are doctors by day and importers by night. So, we have, and then we have people who do that as a full-time job. And there's big companies that, bring in spirits and wine and champagne. So we have a different, there's lots of different people involved. And that's the fun part is also trying to understand why do some people do it off, we've even got a lawyer. We had a meeting with a lawyer earlier today who brings in one brand of champagne and she loves it. So it's, it's the stories and the people and all of that. That's quite fun too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mikaela, it's been so awesome catching up with you. I'm trying to think what's the best way. Perhaps share again the web address of your shop. And then what we will do when your events are ready, obviously we'll put it on our website and make sure everyone's aware of where they can get tickets if you are lucky enough to be in South Africa or any of the other awesome countries at the time when these awesome events are going. I strongly recommend that you grab yourself a ticket and go because it's a worthwhile experience. So is the shop the best way, or do you have another generic place you want people to get hold of you?
The shop will be great. So www.champagneshop.co.za. And there's an inquiry form, so you can inquire about anything there: travel, tickets, champagne, buying glassware even. So that's probably the best. And then I will share the details of the event with you as soon as we have the links. We normally make the tickets available through an online platform that are the tickets that are available. So I'll share all of that with you. I'll share all the social media hashtags and and then you can go from there. And then, as you say, make your way to one of these festivals and have a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute blast. Love hearing about the wonderful journey you guys are on, and can't wait for you to get to London. Alex and I have been pushing for that for what's it now? Feels like 3-4 years.
Absolutely.
Any last words of advice, Mikaela, for anyone who is thinking about setting up one of these awesome events?
Last words of advice. I think just passion for it, as you said, and meet people that you think can help you on the journey. And there's lots of countries and towns and villages and cities in the world. We can do them anywhere. So if you have a great idea and a few people and you want some advice from us, we'll be happy to talk to you. And for the rest, just go for it. It's nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you do nothing, nothing will happen. But if you do something, something might happen. So that's what I would say.
Brilliant. Alex, your biggest takeaway from today?
I guess I would probably just agree with what you said, Erica, about making it, if you're going to do an event or anything you start, make sure you have a passion, or if not a passion, just deep knowledge about what you're going to do, because it really, really helps and it gives you a lot of credibility. And that's exactly what Mikaela and Sean have done. And you can see it, breathe it, and feel it whenever you speak to them about it.
Absolutely. And whenever you attend any of the events. Fantastic. Well, thanks again so much, Mikaela. It's been wonderful, and we need to do a proper catch-up sometime, but I'll be in touch.
Awesome. Lovely chatting to you guys.
Thanks again, Alex.
Thanks for listening to Giraffes Don't Eat Steak, where curious marketers zig when others zag. If you enjoyed the episode, share it with someone who loves great marketing conversations. And don't forget to follow, review, or drop us a note. We love hearing from fellow curious minds, and if your own marketing's feeling a bit tangled, check out our Marketing Power Hour. It's a focused one-to-one session designed to help you get clarity and momentum. Just go to themarketingdetectives.com and book your slot. Until next time, keep zigging.